On Wednesday, members of the Lords had a late night when they debated changes to the government's plans to remove the last remaining hereditary peers from the upper house. To coincide with that debate, the Constitution Unit at University College London published polling it had commissioned suggesting there was widespread support for House of Lords reform. Rowan Hall from the Constitution Unit told me 2,000 adults from across Great Britain had been asked for their opinion.
So we asked 8 questions about House of Lords reform, and these ranged from whether they support the government's current plans to remove hereditary peers, and also to other policies. So, for instance, capping the size of the chamber, or a one-in, one-out approach to new Prime Ministerial appointments to the chamber. We also asked whether an independent body should be able to block Prime Ministerial appointments if it judges that they do not meet certain standards. At present, the House of Lords Appointments Commission can only advise the Prime Minister on whether an appointee should or shouldn't be appointed based on whether they are in good standing in the community or whether they will bring the House of Lords into disrepute. And indeed, the Prime Minister has overruled the Appointments Commission before in 2020-2021.
So let's start with this question of keeping hereditary peers or removing them. What did people think about that?
They were supportive of it. 60% of respondents said that they supported it. Conservative voters were a bit more split on the issue, but voters across Labour, Lib Dems, Greens, Reform supported it. But interesting, what we found was that it wasn't the most widely supported option at all. In fact, one of the most interesting results we got is we asked people whether hereditary peers should be removed from the House of Lords, whether the Prime Minister should be limited in the number of appointments that they make, both or neither. And only 3% supported the status quo, the government's current plans to remove hereditary peers from the House of Lords. By far the most supported option was to remove hereditary peers from the House of Lords and limit Prime Ministerial appointments. And in a separate question, we actually found that 79% of respondents thought the Prime Minister should be limited to appointing no more new members each year than the number who leave the chamber. So that means they can't appoint an unlimited number of people to our second chamber, and the chamber does not become any bigger.
Now, a question I have to ask you really. Did you ask people if they wanted to see the House of Lords abolished in its entirety?
We did not in these results. These were sort of focused very much around the Hereditary Peers Bill at the moment, although in 2022, I believe, as part of our Constitution Unit Democracy in the UK After Brexit project, we did ask a question about whether the House of Lords should include elected members so that they are democratically accountable, or whether it should include appointed members who are maybe expert and independent. And interestingly, we found a pretty equal split between respondents. Then 29% supported an elected second chamber, 28% supported appointed members, and 26% they supported both equally, and 18% said they don't know. So public support it's certainly not sort of in favour of just getting rid of everyone, but it is in favour of certainly reform and going further than the government's current plans.
Rowan Hall.